You're so cool. Hello and welcome to the very first episode of the Flower Face Loveline. We are here to answer your questions and give you incredible advice. Really good advice.
Really
Like,
good.
we know how to help you.
We know a lot. No one has ever... We're the oldest women on earth.
Yeah.
We have a lot of experience romantically and in other areas.
We're not sluts.
I don't know that we have a lot of good experience romantically.
But we have it.
Their experience has been had.
We can tell you what not to do.
Certainly
What to look out
we can.
Yeah.
I would like to introduce my guests. First, we have Gabrielle Drolet,
Hi.
who is an artist
Yeah.
and my friend of just over a year now.
Yeah, I know. We just celebrated our anniversary. It was very exciting.
Yeah, very beautiful. And Kyra Kavanagh,
Hello.
who's an incredible environmentalist
Yay.
and a friend since last summer.
Almost
So-
a year.
I know, almost a
next
year.
month.
Crazy. So we've had a crazy year, the three of us, of experiences and wisdom gaining. And we're excited to share that with you today.
Too much wisdom. It's
Too
gotten
much.
to a point where we look back on this past year and it's like there are things that we don't even remember have happened because there's so much.
No, actually on New Year's Day, we were like, we should make a timeline of everything that's happened to us this year.
And there's too much. We couldn't do it.
Yeah,
just kept adding to it.
it somehow ended up with me kneeling on the floor in front of my wall with like sticky notes with all these different people's names and events that had happened and like string connecting each of them, and everyone was kind of like, we're gonna go now.
Yeah, it was kind of like you were solving a murder, but
Exactly.
instead it was you were trying to solve
Our situationships.
In the last year.
our very many romantic failings.
I wouldn't call them failings, I would call them life lessons. And oh, have we learned.
Oh,
I
Oh,
hope
have we-
so.
Oh, have we learned many lessons. Well, it's time to answer some questions.
Hey, Flowerface. I've had a boyfriend of 5 or 6 years now, and we've been struggling a lot. Just today, I asked him what he liked about me, and he said, I don't know. We've had issues where I feel like I'm not really validated, especially when it comes to our love languages. He knows I'm a very affectionate person. I love this man to pieces, and I will never hesitate to tell him how much I care about him. We're long distance, so I guess that makes things a lot harder. Any advice is helpful. Thank you.
I feel like my answer to so many of these is going to be like,
Leave him.
yeah, this man is evil. Like,
Yeah.
that's horrifying.
Well, and like 6 years is a long time, so obviously there's some real love there, and I'm really sorry to hear that they're going through that. But you know, in a partnership, if it, especially a long distance one, because you have to make even more of an effort to show up for each other, if you're explaining to him that he's not giving you what you need to be fulfilled and happy in this relationship, and he isn't trying at all, then at a certain point you do need to maybe reevaluate if this relationship is right for you, because your happiness is the most important thing.
well, yeah, and it's not to say that like, oh, he doesn't love you or whatever, but I think it is really important to make an effort to, to make sure that your partner knows you love them and knows you care about them and that they feel validated. And like Kyra said, especially if you're long distance, it's like you don't have the physical intimacy of like, oh, they just did this thing for me, so clearly they care, whatever. Yeah, I'm really sorry that you're going through that. I think ending a relationship or even thinking of ending a relationship that long is a really scary process, but maybe something worth thinking about if he doesn't step up, but also try communicating like how important it is to you.
Yeah. And I think like if you're asking your partner, what do you like about me? And they say, I don't know.
Like that's deranged. Sorry. Yeah, I feel like we
demonic.
haven't talked about that in a
Sorry.
Yeah.
I know we're like,
It's
I know we're
cruel.
like,
It's
hard to end a relationship, obviously, and there's love there after that many years. But like, I don't know, if you ask the person that you love what they like about you and they say, I don't know.
They should have a running list.
Oh my
Even
God.
if either of you were like, what do you like about me?
I could
I
write
would
a
have-
novel.
Yeah, a million. Your partner of 6 years should be able to have a list of things, you know, top of the head. I don't know is it's cruel.
Like, it is very scary to consider leaving a relationship this long. Also very brave, though. But just remember, the world is so big and full of so much love. And this is not, if you decide to leave, this is not the end of the love that you'll have in your life.
And it's hard to leave a relationship, but it's harder to be in a relationship with someone who does not love you the way that you deserve to be loved.
Can't name a single thing they like
That's
about
crazy.
Crazy and...
But, like, we've all been there. The thing is, like, we can't talk shit because we have all been in situationships and relationships with men who just straight up don't like us.
you. We've been in situations with men who
They
don't
despise
care if we
us.
live or die.
Like, they would, like, if the purge happened, they would hunt us down and kill us.
Yeah.
If given the chance. So we've all been there.
Yeah. Ring ring. Are you gonna put in a sound effect or is it just okay?
I think that my question would be, how do you keep healthy friendships and how do you know when to stop? Like, how do you know that it's not going to be a good friendship? It's not going to keep going. Like, how do you balance between the good and the bad?
Oh, that's such a good question. That's such a
Yeah.
hard question.
I think if you're asking the question, like, how do I know if this is an unhealthy friendship, then that might be indicative that it is one. I don't think that you would necessarily be contemplating that if you didn't feel already like it was. But I would say first communicate with your friends. Talk about your boundaries and share your feelings and see what they have to say. Maybe they don't understand. If they are making you feel a negative way, maybe they don't know that they're doing that. Maybe they view the situation differently. But if you feel like a friendship is not good for you, then I would say probably have a conversation about ending it for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, a friendship, it's like a relationship, right? Like, there needs to be reciprocity. There needs to be love on both sides. Friendships, at least between us, are so intimate and lovely and very much on par, if not more important for sure, than romantic relationships. Much more important.
Much more important. And I think oftentimes people treat friendships like they're less than romantic relationships and require less work. But actually, you know, if you're in a friendship and you feel like, oh, I don't like how this person is communicating, or like, oh, we have this problem, if it feels like the good parts of the friendship are worth working for, you can like put that work in. You can have conversations, you can do that. But I think it's worth evaluating, like, if things stay poor and if the friendship is causing you stress or anxiety, like, it's not supposed to be that way, right? So
No, exactly.
yeah, maybe weigh what you're getting from it and what it's taking from you.
Friendships, especially once you hit a certain age, you should not be fighting. Like, that's not normal.
No.
Like, you should not be having like constant issues. So yeah. We have very healthy friendships, so we're the authorities on this.
Yeah, I feel like that's the one kind of question that we can actually
Yeah.
answer very well. Yeah.
Relationships, I don't know.
No, but
All right, so we've got a few written notes for us here. Okay. Dear Flowerface, I'm never going to be 18 again, and I think I'm supposed to be happy, maybe. I don't want to pass up all my teenage years feeling miserable, but I'm simply very lonely all the time. I'm in love with everyone in my life that I don't talk to anymore, and I miss people even when I talk to them every day. Is that normal? I spend a lot of my time alone, and then attaching myself to other people, and then feeling like an open wound when they leave. I keep holding on to emotions, like grief, that swallow me whole. My love life has been full of people who will never commit to me, but have filled me with so many memories, I feel like I'm choking on them.
I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
I think I don't know, I think it's really tough. Like, we talked about just now how important friendships can be in different kinds of relationship. Like, when anyone leaves your life, whether it's a friend or like someone you were dating, it can feel like you have grief for that. And I think it's really normal to be mourning that kind of thing.
yeah.
I also think, like, being 18 is really hard. It's such a transitional age. Like, people are coming in and out of your life, and I think there's an extent to which that's normal. Like, if you're experiencing this sort of crushing loneliness and you know, depression or anxiety around this, like that's not necessarily normal. Maybe that's worth talking to someone about. But I think just mourning lost relationships is normal, and like it's a really tough thing to be going through. But you know, hopefully you're going to come across people soon who, you know, fulfill whatever it is that you're missing right now.
Yeah, especially as you're like leaving high school and leaving behind the people that you've known for so long. Like,
and you're changing
and fitting into a new place.
Yeah. Ending the end of your teenage years is brutal.
It's
like,
really
oh my
hard.
God.
It's really, really hard.
And everything also feels like so much.
Yeah. Well, I think also when you're that young, and I hope this doesn't sound condescending.
We're like geriatric.
We're
like, what does it feel like to be 18? That was almost 10 years ago.
Which is nuts. But I think, you know, looking back on like when I was 18, I think I didn't have the ability to like regulate my emotions or to think about things in the bigger picture as well. Just because, you know, it's like everything, like you're saying, you feel it tenfold. Which is not to minimize how you're feeling. I think it's really real, but I do think it's probably more common than you think for people to be really grieving the loss of friendships and really grieving, like, you know, a stage in your life where like you're 18, you're young, but you're entering adulthood. It's hard. It's really hard.
That's what I was gonna say. When I was 18, I felt very similarly to this. So again, obviously we don't know the ins and outs of your life, and like Gabby said, it's very normal to grieve friendships. Again, even more than relationships, sometimes those breakups can be really difficult, and you don't necessarily have the ability to communicate how you're feeling about this transition that you're going through. But what I will say, and again, I hope it doesn't sound condescending, but you have so much time, and life is just going to open up and be magical, and you hopefully at least won't feel like this forever. But I definitely didn't, so I hope the same is true for you.
There's a lot to look forward to, for sure.
So much.
For sure.
So, well, even us, like, we've only been friends for, you know, a little over a year. Like, you're gonna keep meeting people who sometimes it doesn't work out and sometimes it really does, but it's a lot of trial and error, and that's hard.
Well, it's hard to imagine. I feel like, especially when you've been meeting people through school and you've known the same people your whole life, it's hard to imagine like meeting entirely new people. But the people that I've met at the age of 25 are like the most meaningful relationships, you know, which is crazy to imagine because I'm like, it's too late for me, I'm so old. But no, it like keeps happening, and the world opens up for real.
Hi Flowerface, I am 19 years old and my issue is to do with love. Basically, my ex, I was with him for almost 2 years and we broke up last year in November. He cheated on me. He made me feel so unwanted, but again, it was the happiest I've ever been despite all of that. Even saying with this now, like, I'm trying not to cry because around a week ago, he said he wants to start over with me, and I went to go see him and it went amazing. We had such a good time together. And afterwards I said to him, what do you want to be? Because you told me you want to start over with me. And he said, I'm not ready for a relationship yet. He just wants to keep on as we are. And since that day last week, I have barely heard from him. He just makes me feel unwanted. I've told him I'm ill right now. He did not say anything about that. I told him it was my first day at my job, completely blanked it. Anytime I message him, it is just one-word replies, and it is so confusing to me because we were together only a week ago and he was all over me, and now it's just emptiness. I have been trying, like, every day I send him sweet messages. I feel like I'm trying too hard. I am stuck because my heart still wants him even after everything that we have been through, but my head is saying this is not good for you. Remember how upset you were, remember how unwanted he makes you feel, but I can't help but still feel like I am in love with him. Thank you if you listen to that. You mean a lot to me. I've been listening to you for like 3 or 4 years now, and your songs bring me so much comfort. Keep doing what you're doing, you're amazing.
Fuck that guy.
Hate him.
We hate him. I hate him. Give me his username, I will block him.
Absolutely not.
Okay, people like that, I feel like it's so common. They're like, they want you to, or they want to know that you're still an option.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, let's get together, let's blah blah blah, and then once it's like, okay, cool, I know that this person still wants me.
Yeah.
They're not going to
just
put in
often-
any work to actually make you feel wanted.
Right.
I think the thing to remember too is that, or at least to me, cheating is an act of hatred. Because someone who loves you, and I'm sorry if comes off as harsh, but someone who loves you would never destroy your trust like that. They would have a conversation with you about being unhappy in the relationship, or they would break up with you. Choosing to cheat on someone is betraying them and not caring about what that will do to them. So
if you love someone, you wouldn't be capable of doing that.
exactly. So
And if like you grow
absolutely not.
past that, then at the point where he's like, oh, I want to start over, blah blah blah, he would be making more of an effort.
Yeah.
Like it's really unfair to come back into your life and then
just drop you again.
But that's the thing, like,
also
and
congrats on your new job.
Yeah, congratulations, and sorry to hear that you've been sick, and we are here, we love you, we care about you, we would never cheat on you. No, it's just, these men are awful. They're terrible. They're so terrible. But it's also like, I completely understand this thing of like, oh, but we saw each other again and it was so good, because nothing feels better than making up after a horrible thing happens. And it's this awful cycle. You know, I do think that cheating is abusive behavior. You're abusing someone's trust, you're hurting them in a knowing way. So the cycle of abuse is such that, you know, it feels so good to make up and to have that person tell you, I'm so sorry, I love you so much, that like you know, continue going through it and continue accepting the behavior because you're craving that high of, you know, the reconciliation with them. But it's a terrible, terrible cycle to be in. And the truth is, things were so good when you saw each other again because he got what he wanted from you. And it sucks to hear that, but something that, you know, we have all experienced with men is that they love to experience a brief window of time where they are back in a relationship with you and they have the comfort and good feelings that you give them, but then they don't want the obligation that comes with that. And so knowing that you're around, knowing that you'll answer the call every time, it's not fair for you.
No. Wow. I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
That's really hard. And just know it's normal after such a significant relationship to still feel in love.
Oh, a
Of
million
course,
percent.
So yeah, of course, like we get it. It's so hard to.
And that's the thing. You come
move
back
on.
together and you're like, oh wow, like you're experiencing all the good parts of the relationship and it
Exactly.
feels so good. But
no relationship should be making you feel worthless.
no.
Because you're not.
And someone who cares about you, even a friend, even like a stranger online who hears like, oh, you've started a new job, it's so easy to say, congratulations, how do you feel, how's it going, oh, I'm sick, oh, I'm so sorry, like, how are you feeling, what can I do? For someone who apparently wants to get back together with you, he is not even fulfilling the bare minimum.
No, he wants what you can give to him.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to give you what he should be giving you.
Yeah.
It's a long one. You guys, some of these were so long that I had to do some serious editing. For the next episode, if you can possibly keep it under 2 minutes and under like 200 words, that would be ideal. Yeah, thank you. But anyway, that being said, dear Flowerface, I keep dreaming about the same house. It's a big house with so many floors and staircases and secret rooms that I can't even keep track of it. Some parts are the 2000s suburban mom's wet dream kind of house, and some parts of it are intricate wood-carved areas with suits of armor and candelabras. My least favorite are the liminal ones, the yellow-lit hallways that are definitely my brain's attempt to cope with the amount of backrooms content that floats around the internet. I have dreams in all parts of the house, usually going through several different sections of it, sometimes frantically, sometimes just because that's where the dream thread is leading. There's so many outsides of the house too, balconies with different views, skylines, sometimes just a window covered by dense trees and weeds. The things that happen in this house are just as infinite as the house itself. I've had treasure hunts, duels, passionate arguments, very tense escapes from strange creatures, homework sessions, apocalyptic survival scenarios, everything beyond and in between. Sometimes I get a good run of it, but for the most part, I don't tend to have good dreams in this house, and I don't know how to get out of it. I feel like I've lived 1,000 lives in my visits to this house. What do you think I should do? Also, am I going to find love? What if my future lover wants to move into a house with infinite walls and floors and secret rooms? That would probably be a red flag, right? Thanks, Flowerface.
Well, that means that your future lover has money.
True.
Yeah, we love this.
Green flag.
Honestly, like, I can relate because, as my girlies know, I live 1,000 lives in my dreams every night.
Yeah.
And
we have a group chat just to decode dreams.
Yeah.
Since we have a lot of.
And it's exhausting. It's exhausting. But it is interesting that this is like a recurring symbol.
Is the problem that you want to stop having these dreams? Or is
Yeah,
it...
I guess I'm unclear about that.
Yeah. It seems that way because
seems
they
like
said that
nightmares, right?
nothing
Yeah.
good ever happens in the house. So I'm wondering if maybe you already do this, but keep a dream journal or something, and then you can analyze from dream to dream maybe some reoccurring symbols and connect them to what is currently going on in your life to see if there's like a stress
Yeah, true. Like
there
what
that's
what's
causing
triggering
it.
them.
Yeah.
Also, like, is it a house that you know that's like a familiar house? Because I know that you can't dream about a person that you've never seen before, right? Like, you can't create a face in your dream. But I don't know about places.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you can create... I feel like I've dreamed of places that I definitely have not seen.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But I wonder if, like, you know, some of the rooms might be pieces from different houses or different places.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, I don't know what the solution is beyond, like Kyra said, you know, tracking them and analyzing them and seeing. As far as finding love,
We don't know
I
about
think
that.
you will.
probably. And
I
if you
hope so.
do, you'll have someone to tell
Your dreams to.
It's like you'll keep your partner so entertained every morning.
That's true.
You'll
They'll
have
be like,
something to
what
tell
did she
them.
dream about?
Yeah.
What's going on in this house?
Maybe you'll start seeing them in the... I'm curious as well if it's like just this person in the house or if other people are in the house.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had someone once tell me that he had a dream of this like very intricate, complex house that he was running through and opening all these doors and seeing all these different people that he didn't recognize. And then he opened a door and saw me, and I was there. I was the only person that he recognized in the dream.
I have a recurring dream where I'm at Cineplex, which is the giant chain of movie theaters
Your
in
house.
Canada. Yeah, basically, I live there. We're there all the time. And I'm looking for a bathroom, and I can't find one. And I'm running through the halls of Cineplex.
That
There's
literally
just no
happened like
bathrooms.
last week to us.
Yes, exactly. And I think sometimes your brain just it's it's such a random thing. I'm just like, I have to pee so bad, but there's no bathrooms in the Cineplex. I think sometimes your brain just latches on to random things.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
To work
some
through
dreams are
stress.
there's just no solution.
Last night I had a dream that I was 8 months pregnant, and I didn't know because I wasn't showing. I was so skinny.
There you have it.
Pregnancy
So-
dreams are crazy.
Yeah.
Because I always wake up and I'm like, I'm definitely pregnant.
Yeah.
I had a dream, you guys know this, about that I had a baby. And it was so vivid. I was holding her, and like I woke up and I could still smell her. Like I could like still feel her in my arms. Her name was Caroline. And I woke up and immediately burst into tears, and I cried for like half an hour because I was like, I miss her. Like I dreamed about this baby that doesn't exist and will never exist, like in that form. Maybe, who knows?
All to say, dreams.
They're crazy.
If there was a way to stop dreaming, I would have figured it out by now, because
Yeah.
I'm tortured by my constant dreams. I've tried everything. I would say try smoking weed. Doesn't work for me. Also, I probably shouldn't promote any drug use on this podcast.
Yeah, don't do that.
So, but I also don't smoke weed.
No.
I don't. They can vouch for me.
Yeah.
I hate weed.
It makes me scared.
Yeah.
It makes me afraid.
We're very sober people.
These are mocktails, by the way.
Not mine.
These are cranberry
We're
juice.
sober girlies.
Cheers to being dreamers.
Hi, Flowerface. I recently had my heart broken by the woman I love, who has now recently fallen in love with someone else. And it's not even just that it happened, but how I had to learn, how I had to see her being intimate with somebody, seeing her wearing the same red dress that she said she had made for me, and it still just doesn't even feel real. And right now, I guess I just still feel so lost and alone and hopelessly in love with her. And I guess I just can't get over it.
I'm really curious about what he means by having seen them intimate together.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's like a...
Like out on the street or on a date,
I don't know
maybe?
what the fuck my neighbors are doing right now. Sorry, guys.
That sucks though.
Yeah.
It's
I
hard.
feel bad.
I'm imagining
I mean,
like walking in on something.
I know that's what
like,
I was
worst case
thinking
scenario,
too.
but
I hope it's not that. That would be
Yeah.
awful.
maybe it's just like a kiss pic on Instagram, but
But
Either
still,
way.
a broken heart is the worst feeling.
Yeah.
And I feel that obviously this is so cliche. I do feel like sometimes the only thing that helps is time.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, especially I think it's really hard to see your ex
moving
move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
And,
brings
like,
a lot back.
block.
Yeah.
Don't
limit
look.
as
Don't
much
look.
as possible.
Yeah.
It
I know
will
it's
only make you
hard.
feel worse.
It's so hard to not look,
Yeah.
but like you can't be looking at the social media,
It's
any of
so
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's so tempting. But yeah,
It
to
will
see
make you feel worse.
Yeah, and also I think it's really understandable to feel like, oh, I still have feelings for her, like I'm still in love with her.
Maybe during this time too, rely on your other support systems as much as possible. Like if you have best friends that really uplift you, or family, or whoever in your life that makes you feel good things and not these negative feelings that you're experiencing right now, spend as much time with them, let them lift you up. And one day it'll start to hurt a little bit less.
Yeah. And also like try to not, like if you have mutual friends or your friends are still seeing her online or anything, tell everyone like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to hear about it. Say I have stopped looking. I don't want to know if she's with someone else. Like it's not going to help you to know. It's really not. So
And obviously it's easier said than done. Like it's so easy to be like, just block her, mute her, and move on. And it's really, really difficult, and it takes a lot of time, especially if you were together for a long time, or if like you feel really in love still. But yeah, it really is the only solution, I think. I know when I went through a big breakup a few years ago with someone who I dated for like years and years, it was just every time I would see pictures of her, or every time like that sort of thing came up, it kind of set me back to the beginning. Whereas when we finally took like a 6-month break of space and not talking and not seeing each other at all, that was the thing that really made it easier to move on.
yeah, no, it's so easy to like obsess and to find the new person they're dating and like look at and you develop this kind of like parasocial relationship with the new partner where you're almost more obsessed with them than with your ex, and it's so bad. It's like so deeply unhealthy because truly you never know what's happening in that relationship either.
They're
Like,
only showing the good parts.
yeah.
Hi, sorry, we're recording something right now. Could you keep it down, please? We're recording something right now and it's picking up the hammers. Could you keep it down?
C'est bruyant. C'est vraiment bruyant, c'est ça. She said it won't be long.
Okay. Well, we have discovered what the sound was, if you guys heard that, which was my neighbors destroying a washing machine with hammers out behind the apartment. Yeah, and I'm too much of a baby to say anything, so my lovely friends went and confronted them.
They pretended not to speak English, and so then in French I said, "It's really loud, can you stop?" And she said, "Oh, okay."
Well, problem solved. Okay.
Oh, I see some all caps in there.
I know, it's getting intense. Hi, Flowerface. I'm reaching out to your Loveline, unfortunately in a situationship. He is a Scorpio sun, run away.
Yeah.
Pisces moon, run away.
Oh, run.
Capricorn rising, probably also run away.
With that combination, yeah.
I am a Scorpio sun, Capricorn moon, and Scorpio rising. Me too. He's been my friend for a year now, and I'm falling for him. He's mentally ill. I'm mentally ill. He's 24. I'm 20. It fits. We met at work. I left for him. No. No. I want to do something to show how much I care for him because I do. He's got sage green eyes with long, dark, curly hair and soft muscles. He's... No. He's quietly funny, too, and secretly romantic and so gentle. When he's got something to say, he says it quickly and keeps it short. But his rage is so moving. I've seen him break things and tear through boxes with a knife, never mad at me. Not yet. He takes bits of my gentleness and I take bits of his calmness. He's so respectful and giving, too. I tell him he's the most beautiful person I know, and it's true. He's broken hearts, but he's a child, just a grown-up child. No,
No,
but like,
no.
He's
No,
4
no,
years
no.
older than you.
we
first of
fall
all.
into this trap of being like, oh, but he's just a baby. No,
No, he's a grown
he's
man.
an adult man.
Yeah. Especially if you're 20 and he's 24 and you have more emotional maturity than him, that doesn't bode well.
No, exactly.
No, not at all. And like, yeah, he's broken hearts, but he's a child. It's like, he would like to have you believe that he is just an innocent child.
Yeah, well, that's the
Exactly.
thing. Men do stuff like this, and then you're like, why would you do that? And like, oh, I
They're
don't
like,
know
I
any
didn't know
better.
better.
I'm learning.
It's willful
Yeah.
ignorance.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
Weaponized.
I want to keep him in my backpack and say hello during the day. We've never been on a date, and he's leaving in a few months. I want him to take a piece of me with him wherever he goes, but I also need him to stay. I want him to be mine. I want him to take me with him, but how do I say it? I can't sing him a song as meaningful as you. I can barely play ukulele. I can barely do anything but watch him, and I don't think I could watch him go. I don't know if I'll see him again. We don't text much, but he's a Pisces moon. Any words of advice?
My advice is, I'm sorry, you're not gonna like it, but leave him. First of all,
Well, they're not together.
but
They're
like,
friends, but,
stop.
like,
Just
yeah.
stop pursuing him.
It's probably good that he's leaving.
exactly
A physical break is
Yeah.
always, like, good,
necessary.
I understand.
Of
Yeah.
course,
We
like
know, I understand. And like I have many times fallen into the trap of like, oh, he doesn't know. Oh, I need to help him learn how to love. It's like, no, men love when you feel that way and when you excuse all of their behavior because you're like, he's just a little baby. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the bit about, like, you know, he's so gentle, but he gets really angry. I know that was like a throwaway line, but it is scary
A red
because
flag for sure.
yeah, someone who's able to be that angry, you never know whether or not that's gonna get turned on.
Exactly.
Well, exactly. Like guys that punch walls, for example. Yes, they're punching the wall now, but that wall is a substitute for you, and eventually it will be.
Right. And especially it's
there's
like
never a reason for that.
No.
Yeah, you're saying like he's never been mad at you, but it's like you're not even in a relationship, and like it usually takes a while before that behavior starts to show itself.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know. There's no reason for anyone to act out physical aggression like that.
Yeah.
Like it's scary.
Yeah. And especially if he's leaving in a few months, like I understand the urge to be like, I want to sing him a song and like, you know, tell him I have feelings for him, and it makes sense that you feel that way, but
Best to not pursue that.
yeah, no, he's leaving. It's going to be really hard to watch him go, but it sounds like it's maybe for the best.
Yeah.
And it can just remain as this little.
Oh, you should explain the snow globe theory.
Yeah. Okay. So, I have this theory that I don't even know if it's a theory. What would you call it?
An idea.
An idea,
an image.
a concept
Yeah.
of a snow globe moment, which is a moment in time or a relationship, friendship, whatever, that can only really exist in its purest form as this brief moment in time. And it has to end at a certain point, and if you try to drag it on beyond that, it just destroys it because it was meant to exist as a snow globe. And you can put it on the shelf and you can always remember it. You can go and shake it up and watch the snow fall and look at this moment and kind of relive it, but you can't extend it past that. And you also can't live inside of it because it wouldn't be safe, it wouldn't be healthy, it wouldn't be, you know, conducive to a productive lifestyle. But it is this beautiful little thing you can keep on your shelf forever. And I don't know, like certain moments, certain people in your life, like you don't want to resent them, you don't want to hate them, you don't want to have negative feelings about it, and it's best to keep it that way. And it's like it has to end, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. And you can just collect little snow globes on your shelf, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So
Make
maybe
it a snow globe.
he's your snow globe. Yeah.
I got out of a relationship with this girl. It's been 4 months since we've talked, and I've tried to move on, but I can't. Since then, we've reconciled and became friends again. She said that she fell in love with me, but she'll still stay on calls for me for hours at a time. She'll still say things that she never would, like, I miss you. And she'll still flirt with me and act like we're still in a relationship when we're not. At first I tried to like set a boundary and keep myself distant from her. She kept acting like we were still in a relationship when we started to become friends again after 4 months of no contact.
I guess I kind of just fell on my boundaries and started to flirt back with her. We haven't talked about it, haven't really acknowledged it, and she still says that she doesn't have feelings for me, even though she's doing all this kind of stuff. There is a lot of times where we were intimate with each other, and she was the one to initiate those kinds of things. And I asked about that. She said her feelings would fluctuate for me. The ultimate reason why we broke up in the first place was because she didn't put in enough effort.
I have a very strong reaction to this.
I know.
Because I've been there. I've been exactly there.
Yeah.
I think, we mentioned this earlier as well, but you need space, right? If someone is telling you they're not in love with you, you have to believe them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so easy. Again, I've been exactly there. Like, my ex and I broke up, and then she and I kept chatting and whatever. And every time you talk, you fall right back into it. Because it's like, if you're together with someone, you develop a habit of flirting, of speaking intimately, of being intimate. And even if you're not together anymore, every time you talk, you're going to want to reenact the way that you used to. If she's saying she's not in love with you, even if she's flirting with you, like, she's doing that because it makes her feel good, but you have to give it like a good actual break. Say that you need distance, because otherwise she's going to keep crossing your boundaries, and that sucks.
She wants a specific thing. She wants like moments of intimacy with you, and then once she gets them, she doesn't want the obligation that comes with that. She has all the power in this situation because she's the one who ended the relationship. She's the one who's saying she doesn't have, or her feelings fluctuate, which is like bullshit.
Yeah,
like,
whatever.
Yeah, but because she has the upper hand right now and you're always available, what reason would she have to treat you any differently, right? Like, because she's getting what she wants.
Too, like, someone who really cares about you would not constantly be disrespecting your boundaries. You put them in place for a reason.
Yeah.
So again, she's doing it because selfishly she wants your attention, your companionship, intimacy, whatever, without really respecting how that will make you feel long term.
She knows what you want. She knows that you still love her.
Yeah.
And so she's taking advantage of that, which is not something that someone
It's
who
not a
loves
caring
not good
thing
for
to
a
do.
relationship.
It's hard to take a full break and to take distance from someone, but otherwise you're going to keep getting sucked in. Also, the like, my feelings for you fluctuate thing.
Oh, stop.
Bullshit.
No,
That sucks.
No way.
'Cause that feels bad. It's like,
Yeah,
one
why
day
do
they're
you love
nice.
me one day and then one day you don't care about me?
Yeah.
How is that possible?
No, terrible, awful. I'm sorry.
We don't like this.
No.
We don't like this at all.
Yeah.
Block them.
The council has decided we don't like this at all.
Not a single question. We're like, block them. We hate them. I'm blocking them.
Move on. Throw them out.
But like, we know it's not that easy.
No, of course not.
But
Of course
from
not.
experience, it is the only answer.
Yeah, it's gotta
Truly-
be done.
Truly, it's
And
the
you'll
only
feel free.
answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you go through a breakup, you literally go through physical withdrawals because you're so used to being with that person and talking to that person. Once you get past that point of withdrawals, trust me, it gets so much easier. Yeah. And I was in a sort of lucky situation with my big breakup, in that communication was immediately cut off completely, and I couldn't see him, I couldn't talk to him, it was just done. And obviously at the time that was so painful and I was suffering, but I was able to move on so much faster because I was forced into the withdrawals. And then once I got out on the other side, I was like, well, I'm okay. Like, obviously there's still sadness, but like, once you get through the initial, he's supposed to be here, she's supposed to be here holding me, and I feel like unsettled and wrong because they're not, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm sad, but I can understand that sadness, and it's not this physical need. Whereas we all know people, and we've all been in situations with breakups where it just goes on and on and on. A breakup will be like a divorce because you keep seeing each other, you keep talking, you keep falling back into old patterns. You never actually pass the point of those withdrawals, and so you never start to actually move on in a real way. Yeah. So, gotta cut it off.
Gotta cut it off.
Completely.
Yeah. Godspeed.
Yeah. All right.
Ooh, a nice short one.
Like, oh, thank God. Not to be offensive to any long ones. I read everything you guys sent in. I read them all. And I appreciate them all. But yes, shorter is better for these episodes. Okay. I find that I lack friends these days. It feels so very lonely. I love my boyfriend so much, and I am so grateful I always have him. I fell out of love with my best friend last June, and since then I've felt isolated and lonely. That's so hard.
That's a
Yeah.
big friendship breakup for sure.
Obviously, like, your relationship might be great. Maybe you'll be together till the end of time, but like, you need to have friends outside of your relationship. You need to, because when you break up, if you break up, like, what happens then, right?
Yeah.
You also just need someone who isn't your boyfriend or your your partner to talk to about life. Especially, not that you're fighting, but if you do have conflict, it's nice to be able to have friends who aren't in a romantic relationship. But no, that sucks. It's really hard to feel lonely, and especially as adults, I find it's really, I don't know if you are one, but it's really difficult to make friends because you're not in school with the same people all the time anymore. But I would say maybe if you can find a community of people who are interested in the same things as you, whether that's online or going to classes or clubs or other events in person. It'll take time, obviously, but
there's a lot to be said for like putting yourself out there in a very vulnerable way, right? When I first moved to Montreal, I didn't know anyone, and I like started volunteering for a bookstore, and that was really fun. I met some people that way. But also sometimes like fully reaching out the way that Ruby and I are friends. Can I say this?
Yeah, I was going through an awful breakup. I was in bed, unable to even move because I was like suffering so much.
Yep. And I was, at this point, I was also exactly what you were describing. I was super lonely. I had just had a huge falling out with a few of my friends, and I didn't have very many friends. And then one day I get a DM from Ruby Flowerface, and
this is so embarrassing.
No, it was really sweet. I had been tweeting a lot about being on Hinge in Montreal and how many men there were named Guillaume and how hard it was. And Ruby messaged me and was like, hey, like, you know, your tweets are funny. I'm also on Montreal Hinge and it's brutal. Haha. Do you want to hang out sometime? And we've been besties ever since.
The entirety of me coping with a breakup was immediately being on dating apps and like talking to a bunch of different awful men, and then also scrolling through Twitter 24/7 because I was just, you know, in bed and like heartbroken. And I was like, wait, a kindred spirit.
Spirit. And doing stuff like that is obviously really
terrifying.
It's terrifying.
Thank God you're
scary.
nice.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine if you weren't.
And like, it won't always work out this well, but I don't know. It might. I've made friends that way too. Yeah, Kyra and I like met in passing at a party, and I was like, this person is beautiful and incredible, and then now here we are. Yeah, I have a few friends from Twitter, and you also have friends from Bumble BFF.
Yeah, Bumble BFF, truly. Like, when I first moved here, you know, new city, didn't know anyone, obviously like wasn't working a job in person or in school, and I immediately met someone that I started dating. And it would have been so easy to like just fall into his friend group. And I'm like, thank God I found my own friends. I went on Bumble BFF, which I was like, this is so embarrassing. But I met such amazing people. Like, I made an incredible group of friends from there. And when my relationship ended, I was like, you know, thank God I did that, because otherwise I would be back to like being completely alone in this new city. Yeah. So yeah, it's not easy to make new friends, but like, generally people are pretty open. Like, most people are pretty nice, and most people also want friends. Yeah. It's just like everyone's kind of guarded, right? Because everyone's a little embarrassed about like putting themselves out there and reaching out.
Yeah. But I do think it's kind of like dating too, where, you know, sometimes like you're in a period where you're making such an effort to like go on dates and be on dating apps and meet people. And I think with friendship,
we call that being in the trenches.
Yeah. You can be in the friendship trenches too. And you can like, it's really tough and it's a hard place to be, but you know, I think it takes effort and time, and there's like some hits and some misses, but eventually the hits are amazing, and they'll come.
So worth it.
Yeah. Sorry you're lonely right now, but you know,
I hope that it gets better soon.
And we're your friends.
Yeah, download Bumble BFF. DM someone on Twitter.
DM Flowerface Music. I'm here. We're besties.
Hi, I recently started dating this guy. It's long distance, which blows, but how do you know if a guy's too good for you?
Never.
He's not. Literally.
Next question, next caller. Yeah.
He's not.
Yeah.
He never is. They never are.
You're amazing and wonderful.
That's so easy. It's the easiest one yet.
My mom got back with her ugly, horrible, icky boyfriend, and he's hideous and he's bald and
I don't even know. Words can't sum up how ugly he is. How disgusting and smelly. Oh my God, the stench lingers. Anyway, I need help. I need to get this man out of the house. He's insane. Crazy. Busted in the door. Okay, thank you. Love you. Bye, flower face.
Oh my God, I'm
We
so
have a
sorry,
word.
but you were so funny.
That was really funny.
A little bit of levity.
We have a word for that, which is fugly.
Yeah.
Fugly. We're
And
bringing
should be
back
utilized,
fugly.
yeah.
We're bringing back fugly.
Yeah.
It should be, yeah.
I'm really sorry.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
I know.
Because I mean,
We can't really
Your
help.
mom will do what your mom does, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I hope that she stops seeing him.
Well, I think I heard it was really quick at the end, but it sounded like you said something about him like busting in a door.
Yeah.
I think if, your like health or safety or well-being or like, your emotional well-being in your home is being jeopardized, like talk to your mom about that and be like, hey, in addition to being bald and fugly, this guy is also scary.
Not only is he bald and fugly,
yeah.
but also terrifying.
Yeah, and I think like, hopefully your mom is able to take your feelings and your safety into account.
Yeah.
If it's just that he's fugly and shitty, I don't think there's much that can be done.
No, she
but,
just has to see that for herself.
Yeah, but if he's a genuinely unpleasant and or unpleasant person and you're like, my mom is too good for this guy, I think it's worth having a conversation with her and seeing what can be done.
So sorry about the lingering stench.
Oh, it's stinky.
Awful.
Gross.
Another note? Another letter? Okay. Dear Flowerface, it's been 3+ months since my ex-girlfriend and I broke up. I still love them very much. Their reason for breaking up was that they don't love me anymore. But now I'm finding out that they still do.
Oh.
Very often I'm urged to break no contact, to tell them we should try again and ask why they broke up with me if they love me. What should I do? P.S. They're the one who told me about you, and your song Spiracle was our song. Okay, so awkward if you're both watching this. But, I've been in a similar situation in my lifetime recently. No, don't do it.
I think the thing is like, distance makes the heart grow fonder. I think sometimes when you're apart from someone, they can realize like what they're missing or what they had.
Nostalgia is a powerful drug.
It really is. But if that person wasn't still in love with you while you were dating, you shouldn't necessarily trust that they are now. It sounds shitty. I'm sorry.
And the thing is, like, it makes so much sense to have that question of like, well, why would you break up with me if you still love me? Why wouldn't you contact me? It's like, you're never gonna get an answer that's real or that makes sense to you. Like,
no, you need to find your own closure.
Yeah, find your own closure. No one can give that to you. And also, it's so easy to look back on something and say, well, this was so good, why I miss it, and then
I also think a lot of time with dating, the simplest explanation is the correct one. So in this case, they broke up with you because they said they weren't in love with you anymore. Huge red flag. You deserve someone who is in love with you. They're not breaking the no contact. They're not asking to get back together with you. Take all of that as evidence that regardless of what they're saying now about how they feel about you, they are not the right person for you.
Yeah. And you can also just like, accept that you got some good things out of this relationship, right? Clearly. Take those things, take those nice memories and move forward.
Yeah. It's very easy and very tempting to fill in the blanks of what someone's feeling and thinking.
It'll drive you crazy.
Yeah, it's not something that you can do.
Great song, Spiracle.
Yes.
But also, like, if that's your song,
it's kind of
insane. Banger.
Yeah, but not necessarily a healthy love song.
Cat's Cradle has been my song for many situationships, and
it's not good
well for me.
Not good situation.
There right now.
Hey there. So the story is, my ex broke up with me almost 2.5 years ago, and we stayed friends throughout the whole time since then. However, I'm still completely madly in love with him. Is there a way for me to get over my feelings for him and still staying friends?
No.
Is it even possible?
No.
I don't know. Thank you.
Yeah, you have to go no contact. If it's been this long and you're still feeling these really strong feelings for him.
And like I was saying earlier with like the withdrawal period, if you never experience, I'm sorry, but I don't believe in being friends with your ex. I don't think it's possible. Like
not immediately
right away,
after
right
a
away.
relationship.
Like,
exactly.
yeah, being like, oh, we're going to break up, but we're still going to be friends. It's like, I think friendship is maybe possible after a few years have passed.
Yeah.
Like enough time needs to pass, because otherwise there's always something there, whether it's feelings, resentment, anything. Like, I don't know. I just don't think it's possible to jump straight from one to the other, because you need to go through that healing period, or else one person is always.
Yeah.
And I
A
understand.
few months and then back together. Yeah. Or like not back together, but like
I'd say longer.
Assess. I would say exactly.
In my opinion, years, but
Yeah.
that's just me.
The separation.
And it needs to be like
for sure.
real no contact.
Yeah.
Like not just like, oh, we just don't hang out. Like no contact.
No,
at all.
exactly. Because
Yeah.
then there'll always be in the back of your mind, like the what if we
Yeah.
get back together, you know, down the line. Maybe it didn't work out then, but it'll work out now. And it won't. You broke up for a reason. You're making it, or not you're making it too hard on yourself, but the situation is too hard for you to be able to move
I think
on.
like when a breakup happens and like you're not the one who wanted the breakup, like when you are broken up with and you still love the person, literally the only way to possibly move on and get over it is to fully believe in your heart that there is not a single chance on earth you will ever get back together.
Yeah.
Because as long as you have that thought of like, well, maybe someday, maybe like whatever, if they tell you, well, like, you know, maybe down the line, you have to not.
Yeah, you'll
feel
keep
that
the
at
door
all.
open forever.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard though.
Sorry, I know that they probably feel like one of your best friends, so it's
Yeah.
again easier said than done, but I do think separation,
It's the only way.
prolonged separation would be good.
With them as well, right? Where you can say, hey, like I still feel this way about you. I need some space, and they should be understanding. And if they're not, that's another sign that like maybe this isn't someone to be in your life right now.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
We have one last letter. Hello, Flowerface. I'm about to start my career in digital art and animation. I'm scared that I won't be good enough and that others or AI will take over and I won't be able to do what I really want to do. Do you have any advice for me? Thank you. Your music has helped me a lot creatively and I'd love to hear your thoughts. I feel like this is a good Gabby question though.
Yeah. Hello. I am an illustrator and visual artist for a living. And it's the AI question is really tough. I think the fact that it's sort of taken over so much so quickly and become so powerful so quickly is scary. I also think it's really easy, I mean, in any creative field, to be like, what if I'm not good enough? What if people don't like my stuff? I honestly think, first of all, if you're at the point where you're able to launch a career, you are good enough. And there are people who are going to like your style and people who won't, right? But I think you just have to have faith in the fact that what you're doing is good. And especially in the beginning, you have to really work on projects that you feel excited about and passionate about, and that's going to carry you forward. But yeah, and I think the thing with AI is that, you know, people who really love art, the kind of people who might like buy your prints or hire you to do something, are not the kind of people who would ever use AI. I think it's a really fair fear to have, but you know, people who actually are in the arts community are not going to put up with AI being used everywhere. Like, you will still have space in the industry, but it's fair that you feel stressed about it. And congratulations on launching your career.
Yeah, congratulations. And as much as AI can replicate certain things, it's like AI can never be a human with a soul. And actual art takes a human with a soul to make. And so
Yeah, really good question though. And
yeah.
I'm sure with time you'll start to feel a little bit more stable, or at the very least like you know, more confident. Yeah, really, really exciting, very scary, ultimately like really awesome.
But it's amazing too that you're pursuing something that you're obviously passionate about. So enjoy all of the fun parts of starting this new adventure.
Yeah, incredible stuff.
Yeah, and just keep putting yourself out there, even when it's embarrassing.
Yeah,
It's the best way.
Yeah.
It's the only way.
yeah, completely agree.
Congrats.
Congrats.
Hi, so I was in a thing, I don't know what if I can call that a relationship. I was in a thing for about 5 years.
5-year situationship?
And,
Okay, me.
the person doesn't want to get in a serious relationship, and we ended. And after 1 month, that person gets in a serious relationship with someone else. Obviously, I don't understand. What the fuck does it mean? So I was the problem.
No.
I don't know. Maybe you can help me. Thank you.
That
First of all, 5-year situationship
is
is crazy, but also like
I understand.
me,
Yeah.
I would be in a 5-year situationship.
Oh my God. Throw that person out. They're such garbage.
Commit to you
For 5 years.
Yeah.
It's a like extreme act of selfishness.
Yeah,
They
it's
wanted,
not you.
again, it's what we've been saying this entire time. They wanted the benefits of being with you without the commitment and obligation of what a relationship would be.
Yeah.
It's not that there's something wrong with you. There's something
Not
wrong
at
with
all.
this person.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
Yeah. No, it's demonic.
Yeah.
And
I
like
hate him.
I don't know. Obviously, when you see somebody that you love that wasn't able to give you what you wanted, immediately be able to give that to someone else, the natural response is like, well, it's something wrong with me. And it's like, no, it's not about you. Yeah. Generally, that is about the fact that like people have a hard time being alone.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if this person is a man. Men especially have a hard time being alone after relationships end, but like everyone can fall victim to that. But
it's really hurtful.
Yeah, it's
I'm
awful.
Sure.
Yeah, it's
to
just
like see them immediately move on to someone else.
Yeah. It's awful.
It's terrible and it sucks, but it's not. You did nothing wrong here.
No, it's indicative of the kind of person that they are.
Yeah.
To do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to string you along for 5 years.
5 years is such a long time.
But you will find someone who is ready to commit to you that you also want to commit to so quickly. None of this situationship nonsense.
Yeah.
And it'll feel like such a breath of fresh air
Yeah,
after a 5-year
exactly.
situationship.
They're out
oh
there.
my God.
You get a bachelor's degree and a half.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
nutty.
Yeah, that's
I'm so
evil of
sorry.
them.
Yeah.
No.
We thought 1-year situationship was bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
Wow,
I'm so
really
sorry.
I was in a similar situation after my first relationship, my first boyfriend.
Don't we know it?
Yeah.
Famously, yeah. Sorry.
my first boyfriend started dating someone else like a week after I finally cut off contact. And they're still together to this day, 7 years later. So maybe it was me. No, but it was so hard to, look at that relationship where he was giving her all the things that I always wanted that I didn't get and say like, what must be something wrong with me? And it's like, a lot of the time it's like you kind of train these people and then they just use that with someone else. And I really don't know what the answer is. It's just kind of evil and awful. And people are just selfish and at the end of the day pursuing, their own selfish ends, and it really just it's not you.
And
But
you'll find someone who wants to commit to you.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. No one who loves you and who is good for you would disrespect you
Yeah.
that consistently and that badly.
Yeah, and the unfortunate reality is there like might not be a good answer or solution or anything that makes you feel better about that relationship. Like that might just be forever well, why not me? Why this person? Like that sucks. You might not get an answer, but you will move on with someone else who will give you what you want, and then you won't be thinking about that one anymore. And then it's the best you can hope for.
Yeah.
So, good luck, and I'm really sorry.
Yeah, that sucks. I think this is our last call.
Hey, I don't know, I've never done one of these. Like, this kind of feels like one of those things where, like, the president of, like, America posts his number and he's like, oh, text me. But, I don't know. I don't like getting abandoned. Like, I feel like I get attached really quickly to girls, and then they kind of just abandon me because sometimes I can be overwhelmed. But I can't help it because, like, I never get healed from the last time I get abandoned, and it leaves a hole, like a void. So whenever the next person comes to fill it, I overwhelm them. I guess that's why I really like your new song, Cat's Cradle, because it really talks about, like, falling in love with somebody that doesn't even know you, doesn't really know how you feel about them. So I don't know, I guess I keep doing that and it keeps messing me up.
Yeah, Cat's Cradle should not be a model for relationships.
No. We've all been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels great, but
it feels amazing while you're there. I also have this problem where I develop very big crushes on people, and then it's so fun because you're like fantasizing about them, and you're like trying to fall asleep, and you're like, ooh, what if we kissed? But recently, in the past like 6 months or so, I have taken to, when I'm feeling that way, simply telling people, And sometimes it goes well, and
Sometimes not.
Sometimes not. I literally last week had that where I was like, "Hey, like I really like you, and I have a crush on you," and they were like, "Okay, it's not reciprocal," and it sucks and it's hard. But then it makes it really easy to move on, because otherwise, you can again
creating these fantasies that aren't real.
Yeah, and it's really easy to read into everything. You're like, oh, they liked my Instagram story. Maybe they like me. Or, oh, they said this, or they touched me. Like, whatever. I think sometimes being forward is really hard, but it really is the best way.
Yeah, and people will give you the answer that you need.
Yeah.
Like, someone who likes you is not gonna say, no, I don't like you. You know what I mean? Like, if someone says they don't like you, they don't like you, and then you get to move on.
Yeah.
You know? And then you're not, like, guessing anymore. But it is hard because it is fun to obsess.
I recently Googled the science behind crushes, and it is your brain working against you, because obsessing over this person or thinking about them constantly gives you all of this dopamine and serotonin and oxytocin. So you keep doing it because your brain wants to chase that high, but then at the same time it creates this anxiety and all of these negative consequences.
Like, literally,
and
like,
it's a cycle.
Brain damage.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's also like, I don't know, like Gabby was saying, laying in bed at night and fantasizing about someone is so much fun. And we all have that thing where we have these like hours of just laying there.
I do just want to say, Flower Face has some of the most deranged and detailed fantasies I've ever heard about in my life.
Yeah. Well, one time Gabby was telling me about a book she was reading. And she was like, yeah, this book reminded me of you because, you know, the girl, she has this like crazy crush on this guy. She's like obsessed with him. And she has all these like insane fantasies where they meet at a funeral and everyone's crying and they fall in love, or like his family member dies and she's the one who has to deliver the call and they fall in love. And I'm like, well, mine are like, I'm dead and then he has to be a pallbearer at my funeral and like lower my body into the ground. And then the fantasy is I'm sort of this omniscient presence like watching him weep over my grave. And Gabby was like, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
I was like, okay, because my fantasies are just like, ooh, what if she came over and we watched a movie on the couch and held hands? And yours are like, what if I was in a coma and he had to come to the hospital and meet my parents and cry over my body?
What if he's writing Cat's Cradle but about me?
Yeah.
My fantasies are so detailed too, where I'm like, okay, so like I'm in the hospital in a coma, who's like picking up who in the car and driving, and like, well, maybe he would have to pick up my friends and they're all kind of mad at him because he doesn't treat me very well, but they're like, he did come through because she's in a coma.
Flower Face fantasizes logistically.
Yeah. And then all my exes are there and they're all arguing over who gets to go see me, and someone's like, who called her ex? And it's like, well, I felt like I had to, like, you know, all friends are kind of like, yeah. But now I'm like, I don't know, when you don't have a crazy crush like that, like lately I've been a little bit kind of stable and not obsessing over anyone. But I lay in bed at night and I'm like,
what am I supposed to think
about? I'm fucking bored. Like, oh my God, what am I supposed to think about? And I'm like, okay, thinking about me and my friends, having a great time. Like, okay, but that's life. Like, I can do that when I'm awake, you know?
It doesn't scratch the same itch.
Yeah, like when you're just writing like a full novel in your mind. This is such a tangent, but I do get too caught up in the logistics. Though, you know, when I have these fantasies, I had one where I'm like, okay, this crazy guy, he kidnaps me. And then like the guy that I was into had to like come rescue me. But then I was like, well, how would he get me across the border? Because like, I'm like, how,
And then you never get to the good part.
Because then I fall asleep. I fall asleep when I'm still figuring out like, okay, but how would he like take my phone and like turn off my location? Because all my friends have my location. Like,
he has to use Face ID on you. He's like tilting your head the right way.
I don't know. Anyway, life is so fucking boring when you're not obsessed with someone.
Crushes are fun, and when they start ruining your life, tell the person. And then move on, find a new crush. It's a beautiful little cycle.
Exactly. Well, look at how insane I sound right now. You don't want to be like this.
No,
you don't want to
it's not
be.
a good
No,
place
because
to
eventually
be.
it gets tiring too. Like, it's fun to talk about your crush and how it's driving you insane. For the first 100 times, but then after that, it's like the same conversation over and over about how they're making you feel terrible.
Yeah, your friends are getting
bored.
And
your friends are like, he's not gonna do it.
No, and again, been there right now. But like,
they're currently. And I think also, a crush can become all consuming in a way that's negative, where like for me personally,
distracting you from your responsibilities.
It's like every single thing I do, I'm like, ooh, how would the person I have a crush on perceive this? Or like, ooh, I'm doing, you know, I'm like posting Instagram stories and I'm like, he, hope he sees this.
Gabby will post Instagram stories. Gabby will put her close friend story as only the guy she has a crush on. And once she sent me a screenshot of like, oh my God, he viewed my story. And her story was a screenshot of her conversation with me. And I was like, but I couldn't even see your story. Yeah. So she's posting screenshots of our private conversations and only letting this terrible, that was the worst man.
That man was...
That guy wanted you dead.
Yeah,
he wanted you dead.
That man would have shot me during the purge immediately. Yeah.
We've all been there.
We've all been there. But yeah, a crush will drive you to do deranged things. Yeah. I currently have a close friend's Instagram story that neither of you can see.
Girl.
And it's a picture of us.
What? Which one?
You have to show us that. Right now.
Yeah, I will. It's one of the ones from last night.
I was gonna say, is it the one that I showed Mateo?
No.
Yeah.
No, one of the 0.5 selfies.
No, we've all been there. We've all been crazy. Yeah. We've all been like, wait, but maybe.
And then you start to get out of it, and they do just one little thing, and you're back in. You're like, see, here's the proof that they are in fact obsessed with me, and we're getting married.
No, but then once you get like fully out of it, like the humiliation.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, looking back on that one crush of mine that you just mentioned, it was probably one of the darkest times. I was doing everything and anything for this man.
The screenshots of your text with him, and I would just be trying to be supportive because this is also like earlier in our friendship. Yeah, I was like, oh, he totally likes you. This man hated you.
No, he did not like you.
He hated you.
Yeah,
but you know, I can't talk.
No, we're really the blind leading the blind.
No.
But all of that to say, try to keep your crushes fun. And also, you had said something really quickly about them filling a hole in you. No one can fill any holes. You do that yourself.
Well.
If only.
Yeah. Good luck, babe.
Yeah, good luck. Well, thank you so much for all of your amazing questions. I hope that we helped.
I hope we hindered.
I know I'm going to get a bunch of emails being like, you ruined my life. Why did I listen to you?
We did our best, and we're just 3 young ladies. That's all we can do.
Listen to us. We're fucking crazy too. Like, we don't know anything.
No. We're not therapists.
I don't even know why I decided to do this. This is a terrible idea.
I don't think... Here's the thing. We don't know anything, but we are correct.
Yes.
We're always right about everything.
Yeah.
But we don't know much.
Yeah.
See, we're very good at like giving advice to other people. Like we're good at giving advice to each other. We just can't take our own advice.
Yeah, but that's everybody.
That's life, baby.
Yeah, that's why you got to hear it from us.
Yeah,
that's what we're for. Fire your therapist. They cost too much money.
This is free.
This is free.
You get to call me for free.
Exactly.
And I will give you such a incredible,
and
concise,
we're so emotionally stable and solid, and we're good people to ask.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you so much.
Good luck out there.
Good luck, and the phone line is open. Please continue to send in your questions, your messages, whatever you'd like, and you might be featured on a future episode of the Flower Face Loveline. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stream Flower Face.
We love you.
Bye.
Bye.